You are ambassadors in a way that many in larger scale farming yearn to have the connection for. You are the ambassadors that truly can help us think through what are the solutions for the 21st century. In this state, we are so blessed to have the Mediterranean climate that we do, the soils that we have, the infrastructure that we have. We can grow practically anything, and we do. Apples to zucchini and everything in between. We have plants and animals. We have organic and sustainable and conventional and some biotech, and all of those things can cause controversy. But there are ways for us to coexist because we're all engaged in something that is so vitally important to every person on the planet, and that is producing food. And I believe that as long as we are all committed to the best food safety and environmental practices, there's a space for every one of us to fill our role. And I feel so lucky to work with each one of you. I feel so fortunate to have the working relationship that I have with USDA Secretary Vilsack. I see my good friend Val Dulcini at the back of the room. Val's got an aggressive program to do lending to new and beginning farmers. So think of Val. I don't know if Glenda Humiston is here or will be, but when I look at the investment that she's making, you know, farming it and creating it at the farm level, there still is an infrastructure of getting it to the consumers that has to be funded, and she's doing a great job at looking at community kitchens and processing facilities and all the infrastructure in between. We have great programs in place, even with the strained resources that we have in government, to partner with NGOs and to partner with you to make sure that every Californian going forward has access to the healthy food that we grow, but that we're also helping to provide that food to citizens here and around the world. It is an exciting time to be in agriculture. It is exactly the right time to nurture the next generation. And I'm loving that I see out here so many young faces, because one statistic you didn't say, 30% of our farmers are 75 years old or older. So figuring out how we get that land transferred in a way that can still be farmed is going to be a great challenge for us. Figuring out how to farm in those urban areas is an opportunity for us. I could go on and on and on, but I do want to mention two fabulous tools that have recently been put together by USDA that many of you may know about. One is Start to Farm, start2farm.gov. This has been put together by USDA looking at all across the mission of USDA, all of the resources that could be made available to help young farmers and new farmers, and it was put together by the Ag Library. It is a fabulous resource. And then the one that was just released last week, which is very exciting. It started as a report to Congress because there are some members of Congress who have been very skeptical of Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food, that small farms can't feed the world. Well, small farms never said they're going to feed the world. They said we're going to feed our community. And so Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food put together a fabulous report to Congress and created the Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food Compass. And one of the coolest tools online right now is the map of the United States that shows where we've made the investment for Know Your Farmer, that shows where we have regional food hubs, that shows where investment's been made for processing. It is a great tool. So, Val, would you please tell the Secretary that even though I don't work for him anymore, I'm still going to plug his programs all day long. I would love if there's time to take a few questions, because I really appreciate the opportunity to hear from people. But I really want to thank you all for inviting me here. And I hope that you know I am very committed to helping all of you attain the goals that you want to attain, which is hopefully providing safe, healthy, good California food to all of our people. Thank you. Questions?
You want to do it now or after?
We can do a couple this way, or sure. I can just hang out. My plane's not for a little while.
Are there questions for the Secretary?
Don't be shy. Challenges, yes, sir.
Okay. My name is John Nicholas. I'm the president of Raw Inspiration. We operate over 20 farmers problems I have is, one of the problems I have is this, congratulations on coming into office. When you came into office, you started the task force, the ad hoc. We already had a committee for farmers markets, and it was never explained what the new task force would be doing. The second thing was that nobody could find the names of those people. It was like shrouded in secrecy who was going to be on that. Now, in Los Angeles, around Los Angeles, we have 78 farmers markets, but we're not represented at all. There's no farmers market represented on that committee. There's 2 from the north, and they're very good, I'm sure, but nobody from our area, and we are a large farmers market environment. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that, to be honest. I think it should be changed with people from South, San Diego as well, so I would like to see that. But one of the concerns I have, of course, is we've had bad publicity over the years about cheating. And the committees and what I see is a lot of focus always on the farmers market. Well, we don't cheat. I'm not saying any farmer here cheats, but obviously it's the farms who cheat. And what we're having is more regulation put on us to do more things, more monitoring, farmers market managers, working groups, which I agree with, and we have a very strong one. We've submitted our manual to Steve Patton. But I do feel that we need to be included a little bit more. Now, everything you said is wonderful, and your enthusiasm is certainly catching, and no question about that. I've gone too long? Yes. Okay.
No, that's sorry. Okay.
Let's let her answer. I know Amelia Saltzman is representing kind of southern, well, she's very familiar. She works a lot with the Santa Monica Farmers Market. But go ahead.
And I appreciate your input, because it's very hard when you invite a task force. You try to be as representative as possible, knowing that you can't have everybody there. But we are very committed to improving the transparency and inclusiveness of everything that we do at CDFA. So if there were some difficulties of accessing who had been invited to do that, or that you didn't feel that you had an opportunity to weigh in with us, either in my office or in Steve Patton's office. I mean, we've had a lot of people just come and observe and participate, even if they didn't serve specifically on the task force. We do not want to shut any input out. But one of the things that we wanted to be respectful of is that the task force that was appointed in the previous administration did a lot of really good work. But when they presented their list of recommendations, there was not buy-in and consensus on that. So we felt that we needed to continue to have that dialogue and see where we can marry them together, including going back to a very fundamental, farmers markets have been around for quite some time. Is the structure itself the right structure when we want more farmers markets, but the integrity of those markets is what we really want to ensure. So I don't feel that we've closed anybody out, and this is my personal invitation to you, to continue to provide us input, because this is a dialogue. We've asked the committee to try to come up with recommendations by July, because we know there are a lot of legislators who are very interested in this. But the next most important step is taking all of this back to the grassroots and making sure that we've got some good, sound recommendations that legislators might act on. But we really do, maintaining that integrity throughout the food system at every step of the supply chain is going to be very important for all of us to have that trust with our consumer.
Thank you. There are things available. I'm going to have to take another question or two. Okay. Amelia.
Thank you. I'm Amelia Saltzman, and yes, I'm on the task force. I would just like to let everybody know, just a point of information, the technical planning report, which is the work of the earlier task force that the Secretary was mentioning, is on the CDFA website. And I really encourage you to take the time to look at it and see what has been proposed, what has been suggested, what work is being built on. So just go to the website. Yeah, you're going to have to noodle around a bit. You need to go to inspection services, inspection and compliance, but you'll find it. And I really encourage you to read it and get yourself informed and come to the table.
Thanks.
Thank you. I think we have time for one more question.
My name is Dan Gannon. I've got a small organic farm in West Sacramento, and this will be my second year farming full-time as my only source of income. So one of my questions is just if you could repeat something that you said. You said there was somebody in particular who's doing some work about community kitchens and food processing.
And Karen.
Okay.
But also, USDA rural development in particular has made that an area where they really want to make a significant investment.
Okay,
so
great.
you might want to connect with Karen
Great.
afterwards.
And then the other thing is that I have some very specific ideas about creating viable local food systems and using unused land in cities. Can I communicate with you directly to figure out how I can do that on the line?
But I also encourage you, if you are not familiar with the work of Rural Urban Connects, which is a project of the Sacramento Area Council of Governments, it is a very exciting planning tool, and we are that community, and it's for the 5 counties, and that's why David Shabazian is the person, and you and I can talk afterwards, that they're really looking at these issues because, well, not to take anything away from the other parts of California, this is a beautiful part of California, but really and truly the 5-county area around Sacramento believes it can be Emerald Valley, and that we're really going to capitalize on agriculture and food. So you and I need to connect because David would be the perfect person for you to feed those in. They're going to be coming out with a recommendation here later this year.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Secretary Ross. We
pleasure.
appreciate so much you taking the time
Thanks for inviting
to be
me.
with us at the
great.
conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.